I put my maiden name back on the mailbox and my in-laws' cards bounced. My husband David and I have been married 11 years. His parents, Carol and Ron, have never once called me by my married name in a card. Every birthday, every Christmas, the envelope says Mrs. David Whitmore, not my first name, not even my initials. Just his name with a Mrs. slapped on the front like I'm a coat rack that came with a house. I let it go for years. I told myself it was a generational thing. Then last spring, Carol sent a card to our daughter that said to our real granddaughter, because our oldest is adopted. I didn't let that one go. I called her. She said, "Oh honey, you're reading into it." David said maybe I was tired, so I stopped reading into things and started reading the actual envelopes. Every card that came to the house, I looked at the name. Carol never got it wrong by accident. She got it wrong the same way every time. Mrs. David Whitmore. In August, I took my maiden name back, legally. Nunez. My grandmother's name, my mother's name, the name that was on my diploma before I let a wedding talk me out of it. I didn't make a speech about it. I just did the paperwork, updated my license, my bank, my work email, and I put a new decal on the mailbox. Nunez, then a line, then W8 more for David and the kids. David didn't love it, but he didn't fight me. He said, "It's your name, do what you want." That's the most he's ever stood up for me, and I'll take it. 2 weeks later, Carol's birthday card for our youngest came back to her. Returned to sender. Because she'd addressed it, as always, to the Whitmore family with no unit clarity and our new mail carrier, a guy named Marcus, who is very literal, saw a mailbox that said Nunez and Whitmore and a card that just said Whitmore in a way that didn't match, and he bounced it. Then a second card bounced. Then a check Ron mailed for the kids' school fund bounced, physically, back into their mailbox unopened. Carol called me screaming, "You changed the mailbox so our cards wouldn't reach the grandchildren." I said, "I changed the mailbox to my name. The carrier makes his own decisions." She said, "This is petty and cruel. You're keeping us from the kids." I said, "You've been keeping me off my own mail for 11 years, Carol." I didn't say a word. She hung up. Then she called David. I heard his side. Mom, it's just a name. Mom." He came out of the office looking gray and said, "Can you maybe just add Whitmore first? For her? So the cards come through?" And that's the part that got me. Not Carol, him. Whitmore first, me second on my own mailbox in front of my own house, so his mother would feel comfortable pretending I don't have a name. I said David. She addressed a card to our real granddaughter. She's called me Mrs. David Whitmore for 11 years like I'm a piece of luggage. And the thing you want fixed is the order of the letters on the mailbox. He said, "I'm just trying to keep the peace." I said, "The peace has cost me my whole name. I'm done paying for it." Sunday, Carol and Ron came over unannounced. Carol had a stack of cards in her hand, waving them like evidence. She stood on the porch and pointed at the mailbox and said, "Take that off. That is a Whitmore house." I said, "I bought it. Look at the deed." Because that's the other thing I never brought up. The down payment was mine. My grandmother's money. Nunez money. The house is in my name and always has been. David just never mentioned it to his parents because it made him feel small. Carol's mouth opened and nothing came out. Ron looked at David. David looked at the porch boards. I said, "The cards will come through fine if you address them to Nunez. That's who lives here." Carol said, "I will not put that name on a card to my own grandchildren." I said, "Then I guess they won't be getting cards." I went inside and closed the door. Through the window, I watched Ron take the stack out of Carol's hand and walk it to the mailbox. He read the decal. He slid the whole stack in under Nunez. The first card since said, "The Nunez family." Carol's handwriting, pressed so hard the pen tore the paper on the end.